I've taken a vacation without my computer for like 2 years now, and it's all because of Gems, because it's not in here.
Yeah.
It's in here, and my whole team can survive without me. I'm just not as important as I used to think I was, and that's a good thing.
Hello. It's Holly Rustic here with Grant Writing and Funding, and I'm super excited to help you grow capacity, increase funding, and to advance mission. That might be the mission of the nonprofit that you work at, or like these lovely ladies that are all joining me today. They work with many nonprofits because they are all consultants. So we're definitely going to be diving in today on some really cool things. And the thing is, I get a lot of you going, Holly, how do I manage my grants? How do I keep track of everything? How do I not miss a deadline? How do I organize things? How do I find things, right? And a lot of you have been asking this, and we've definitely been talking about it. We've been getting Rachel Waterman on the Grant Writing and Funding podcast and YouTube channel to really support it. She's also sponsoring this episode today. And but we wanted to bring in some people who actually have experience using GEMS, and that's Grant Easy Management Software. Because a lot of you are saying, what software shall I use? And I'm going to say, let's have a look at this one and see what you think about using it today. So I have some lovely ladies. Like I said, it's going to be a fun podcast today because we have a panel, and it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of diversity to bring in their experiences and their businesses and how they utilize this program specifically, GEMS. So if you guys want more information, a lot of you guys have been hearing about it lately. We're going to break it down for you today from a user experience. So on the panel today, I have Jen Radusky, and she's with Then There Grants Consulting. She has more than 25 years in grant making administration experience. We also have Jackie Ehrenberg, and she is with Resolute Nonprofit Consulting, has more than 21 years of experience with nonprofits. And we also have Yvonne White-Moray, and she's with Grant. She's the principal grant strategist at Grant Stream Consulting, LLC. And she also has a very robust background in grant writing in nonprofits. I've even looked at some of her grants. They are awesome that she writes. So, and of course, we have our very own here, our partner, Rachel Waterman with GEMS, that's with Grant Easy Management Software. So welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yes, this is going
Great to be here.
Exciting. So thank you for your time again today. And thank you for sharing with all the people out there that are listening, that are going, what is it about this? I'm hearing about this software. I want to know more about it, and really excited to hear from your experience. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the designer of this product who actually created it, and that is Rachel Waterman. Hey, Rachel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me back. And thank you, ladies, for joining us today. I'm super excited about this. This is like, we've never done anything like this before. So this is super exciting. And for those of you who don't know about GEMS, Grant Easy Management Software, I just wanted to tell you a little bit real quick, the story of GEMS. Yes, it was created by a grant writer like yourself. So I know the horror and trauma of living under impending deadlines all the time. And as a consultant, as you start to do grants for lots of different people and they all have follow-ups and reports, it really just becomes maddening. And if you're like me, you spend a lot of time updating your spreadsheet until like and the spreadsheet owns you. So when I got to like where I wanted to take back my life from the spreadsheets, I got with some software developers, and we actually put together this product. We gave it out as folks who took our grant management trainings and seminars. And then it just sort of, like I say, my baby grew legs and it started to run away. And so now, now it's commercially available, and we're working to get the word out, because if you have a system and you love it, that's great. Skip to another podcast. There's a lot of amazing things to learn from Holly. But if you don't have a system, you need to have a system. Or if you have a system and it's really not working for you, if you're working for it, then stick around and let's hear what these ladies have to say. And if you're excited about what you hear, sign up for a demo. Holly's got a coupon. You can get a free tile if you sign up. Yeah, Holly's got a free coupon. We have free giveaways. And, just do yourself a favor, get some sort of a system in place, because as I always say, you can't scale without system. And that's it. If you're happy where you are, that's fine. But if you want to go anywhere else, you got to have a system.
I love that, Rachel. I love that so much. And thank you for doing this, because I love that you're a grant writer yourself. You have a grant writing agency, right? And this is just, you're like, this is, I think in systems, this is how my brain works. This is how I can organize my team. This is how I know I can scale, because a lot of you consultants out there are like, when do I scale? Do I just hire consultants? Do I even do that? Do I, because I maybe I hit my max with my clients, right? So there's a lot of talk and chatter about how to do that, when is the right time, all of that. And this software, because you created it to scale, so your business and your agency could scale, can help you do that. So if you are a grant writing consultant and you are looking for that kind of like, you're hindering, like, I'm getting a lot of clients and I don't really know what to do, this can be a great option for you to help keep you organized with a system, right? With a software. It's not necessarily training a person to do something. It is automating software that can actually save you money, save you time, and help you scale in a way with technology, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think what else is really important is that you're able to scale in your proposal production. I think that's what the real heart of the organization is.
Yeah.
And that you might be able to scale your work without scaling your consultant, your subcontractors or your employees or your team. You become more efficient in what you can produce. So you can produce things faster, you can do them better because you can really capitalize on optional components of applications, or just like get that extra proofread, or do more proposals. Even if you're staff grant writers, I mean, we're always under deadline. And so this is an opportunity where you can get everything under control so that you have more time to focus on your work instead of managing your work. You let the system manage your work so that you can just do your work.
Yeah.
And
I love it. Yeah, and I know a lot of you are going, oh, let me hear about it. That sounds like magic. And they do have a lot of fairy dust over there. So let's talk about that fairy dust. So let's get into our panel today. So let's go ahead. And I just want to hear a little bit about you. So Jackie, do you want to start with kind of like what your story is a little bit, how you got into grant writing, and then we'll talk about like where you were at before GEMS and where you are now.
Absolutely. So I am one of those strange people who actually went to school for nonprofit management.
Wow.
20 years ago, I did my undergraduate at Arizona State and in nonprofit management, and been working in the nonprofit sector my whole career. And 8 years ago, I decided to step away from working full time for a nonprofit and help consult and help in fundraising with different nonprofits. And in the last 6 years or so, I've kind of honed in on just the grant writing, just so that I could keep my brain working in the same direction. Now I've actually expanded recently to not just nonprofits. I've actually been helping tribal enterprises with their grant writing, which is kind of fun. But when I started with GEMS, I was probably the 4 or 5 clients, monthly retainer clients, that I do work with every single month. And I was managing one Excel document and this, system and, whatever system they used and things like that. And now I have 9 monthly retainer clients. I have 4 subcontractors that work full time for me, and it's all in GEMS.
I love that. I love that. So was it the ability to have that software? Like, what was the magic behind that? Like, what was the one thing that made you go like, I can go from 4 to 9 within that software, like 4 to 9 clients?
Well, it's for sure that I don't have to worry about somebody meeting the deadline, because the deadline's all in one place. I don't have to, look, oh, have they updated the spreadsheet? No, they haven't. No, they update it right there, live time, right as quickly as they're getting it done. So that is the saving grace for all of us. And they love working in it too themselves, and being able to dig deep when they're trying to find some old information from a previous application. I've only been working with GEMS for 2 years, but they've got some wealth of knowledge stored into the documents that are stored in GEMS.
And is that for the nonprofits that's help, or the consultants that work under
All
you?
my consultants.
All your consultants.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it really helps you with team management in a way, right? Like that streamlines team management. And then it also helps with them knowing like what needs to get done and what the expectations and the deliverables and the dates are.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I actually have a virtual assistant who wrote a standard operating procedure for me on this is what they need to do first, second, third, and all of that good stuff within GEMS, and how to properly name everything and all that good stuff. But having a system that it's all stored in is what we all needed to work well together. And honestly, we're all over the map with
Virtually.
consultants. I've not met some of my subcontractors in person ever, and that's fine with me. They do great work, and my client, I live for the day when my client says, I know you subcontract your work, but guess what? This one hit the money. I didn't have any changes at all to the draft. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know I have a great subcontractor there. And I'm able to get to do so many different types of nonprofit work. And as I said, adding the new ones, it was mostly human service nonprofits that I worked with, and it's just recently that I started working with tribal enterprises to do bigger federal grants, and it's thanks to being comfortable with all the deadlines and everything in GEMS.
I love that. I love that so much. Would you also say that, just like while you're talking about that, what I'm thinking from like a business owner perspective as well is like, wow, you must have eliminated a lot of unnecessary meetings because
Definitely.
Like, do you really feel like you cleared up a lot of time?
Definitely. No, I don't even have to check in with my subcontractors unless I forget to pay them or something like that.
Right.
Honestly, I assign, they submit, and they record, and we're completely hands off. We go months without talking to each other face to face, even face to face via Zoom, honestly, because we don't need to. We have it all in GEMS.
I love that so much. That's so amazing. Like just that impact of productivity, scalability, revenue, and efficiency, right, within a business. So that's so cool. Thanks for sharing that, Jackie. So I definitely want to hear from some of the other panelists as well. So Yvonne, so you're newer to the program. Jackie's been in it for 2 years. I think you said you've just been kind of coming over. So can you tell us a little bit about your business and how you got into grant writing and then your experience as well with GEMS?
Sure. Thank you. And great to be with all of you today. I usually joke that my introduction to fundraising came when I sold my first box of Girl Scout cookies as a brownie. Eons ago, I won't tell you how many eons that is. But I cannot imagine a world without libraries or museums or parks or many of the things that take place within the nonprofit sector. So I come to grant writing and grant professional as an encore career or an encore professional. So there's been many decades of business and for-profit and government and faith-based organizations and nonprofit work. And so when I looked around to see what I had in my toolkit in my encore years, grant writing seemed like a natural fit. So that's how I ended here. And I have done several years of pro bono work, but when I started to do it for myself as a for-profit situation, then I started working with the various clients on first a freelance basis, and then we launched Grant Stream Consulting LLC just recently. So when I was doing it for individual clients, I was pretty much using whatever system the client had. And of course, nobody had the same system. So everything from the spreadsheet to, I won't name all of the other ones, but there was at least 6 or 7 different types. And what I found was that when I was introduced to GEMS, that there were so many unexpected, wonderful things. The first thing was that there was a system that was very much active as opposed to passive. So I like the fact that you can, put in the task or what's coming up and then it automatically emails you back right away, so that, it kind of is that reinforcement that helps you not forget what's supposed to be done. And that, so that I felt like I was talking really to the system itself. And then for those who have spent any time in the presence, virtually or otherwise, with Rachel, there's just so much support that comes through using the system. The support of not only the support related to the product itself, but the giveaways and the special gifts that come with it, and the community that is developed. I got to meet Jan because I came to a master class that Rachel was holding. So there's this continuation of always learning more about the system and taking information in of how to make it better and improve it. And you get to meet some of the best people ever. So I really like that part of it.
I love that so much. Thanks, Yvonne. Because that's such a good perspective too. Like, I love how Jackie's like, I've been in the nonprofit for all my life, the sector. And then Yvonne's like, oh, this was kind of like my encore career, and I love it. So, but you're both using the system. And what I love that you pointed out, because I have found this too, as a grant writer, it is always using the nonprofit systems. And what that happens is, for one, it's so much learning curve on the consultant side that's just unnecessary, I believe, right? And it doesn't really set you up as much as you can be so much more of a professional when you come in saying, this is the way I work, right? And not to be like, dictator, but just to come out and say, this is the way we work, this is the way the company runs, because these are proven to be supportive of the work that we do. And this is the way that we can help advance you. You don't have to manage all that. We got this, right? So I think having something where you can come in also sets yourself up more professional. And it also increases just, obviously you're going to have a better streamlined effect because you're not having to spend time learning a system when you should be writing grants, right? You know what I mean? So definitely, I love that component to it, and that you pointed that out, because I think that's so important. Because nonprofits, like you said, they'll have an Excel sheet. They may have their own software that they've tried to develop, or they may be using another software that doesn't necessarily gel with grant deadlines and all the other things that are very specific for GEMS, right? That make it a grant management software, not just a project management software. Very different. So I love that too. And just, you've been in there for a short period of time, but I love that you're already seeing that community. So that's fantastic, Rachel. I love that you have that all your giveaways, and
that's so wonderful that's others' experience of us. I'm really glad. That makes me really happy to hear. Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Yes. It's nice. We have quarterly master classes. They're free to all subscribers. We know that you might be paying your subcontractors or your staff. You might already, being paid to be there. We're not going to charge you again. And we want people to stay up to date. And there is a lot of cross-pollination and cross-communication, and people really learn from each other. Yvonne is such a sharp one too, so if anyone was going to pick up on the free coaching that's there, it was going to be Yvonne.
I love that you guys have the free quarterly classes. I wasn't aware of that. So that's awesome that you guys have that, and that it's bringing that community and that consistent, I love how Yvonne, how you called it. It's an active software more than just a passive software, because of those supports. And you guys are all nodding. So those of you guys who are listening, they're all like, yes, I love the community. So that's so cool. Awesome. So let's go ahead and move to Jan. So Jan, we have a couple of questions too. So where did you come from in your grant writing background, and where were you at before you started using GEMS, and where are you at now? What was your transformation?
Yeah. So thank you. It's so fun to be here with you. And community is the word I would say, as having been privileged to be in the master classes and being a part of GEMS. And I've known Rachel for a really long time. So to see this product be so successful and so helpful and so intuitive, it's awesome. So where I start, grants found me. I was on my way to a different career, and I was working for a CEO very early on in my career. And all of a sudden, I was rewriting his master's thesis. And he said, you'd be a good grant writer. I'm like, really? Okay. So I spent 9 years working for a variety of nonprofits. And I went on maternity leave to have my first daughter. And when I came back, I left and I got a new job as a grant maker. So now I was working for a local foundation giving money away. Super cool, very different perspective. I could see that from the grant writer side. Now I had it from the funder side. And I did that for 9 years in healthcare. And then I went on to a local arts agency where I was managing about $4.5 million a year to 120 organizations and doing the grant writing, bringing in about $1 million a year. And so really doing both of those things at the same time. And what I realized is that I could be more helpful to nonprofits in a consulting space, really helping them understand the structure of a grant system, the strategy, and the social interactions that comes with processing grants and doing that work and having a team and all of that, right? Because grant writing is not an individual sport; it's a team sport, and you need the whole group to do that. But where GEMS is really a key for me in helping my nonprofits, and I have about 30 that I work with. Some are ongoing, some are project based, and I have 4 subcontractors that work with me. And it's that structure piece. When I go into a nonprofit and I say, "Do you have your grant toolkit? Do you have a way to track your applications?" They're like, "Yeah, we use a spreadsheet." I'm like, "I've got a solution for you," because it makes life just so much easier. And having that GEM structure in place takes lots of pressure off, right? And not just from an organizational standpoint, but from a reporting standpoint. And that's one of the features that I love it the most, because before we were, okay, take the spreadsheet out and crunch the numbers and then add the columns and then figure out where you were successful in these buckets. All I have to do now is push a button and the reports come, and they're beautiful and they're accurate. Right. And I don't have to worry about, do I have to go back and check the numbers? There was another software that we were using for a while in a different location, and every report was wrong. Every report was wrong. And I was like, operator error? It must be operator error. No, then I'd get somebody else on the team to look at it and they'd put in the numbers and it would be wrong. Not with GEMS. It's right every single time.
I love that. So it's really helped you with that system again, right? To take, you said, the pressure off, to really, and then to make sure things are right, and the grant reporting side. So that's the kind of click a button, because I've done grant management before. They want you to be a grant writer, then they automatically think, oh, you must know how to manage grants. That's like a whole nother skill set, right? Like it really is. Yeah. There's other things going on. And it can be really confusing, right? So I love that's synced together, that there's a part of that you can run reports, because those reports can be cumbersome, they can be inaccurate, all of the things. So that's awesome. And I love your company too, that you're able to really look at it, grow your clients. A lot of people would be like 30 clients at a time. Oh my gosh. So, to have this system, does that help support that growth and scalability then?
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's another thing about my subcontractors. And Jackie, kudos to you. I don't know how you don't talk to your subcontractors. I'm like talking to them all the time. They need a little more. They're really good at what they do, but they need a little more team building from my perspective. But what's beautiful about that is 2 of them happen to be pregnant, or one just delivered her baby, and so they're now sharing the burden of the space where they wouldn't be able to do grants, right? So one is taking over the other one's clients while the other one is on maternity leave. And then as soon as the other one comes off maternity leave, she'll take back over their clients. So there's this patchwork of support and making sure that there's no gaps, no clients are not going to get their needs met and their grants completed. And how that works is because they're able to go into GEMS and see where everybody is at any given time.
Yeah, I love that. Instead of like some long drawn out meeting or like screen shares or like, here's a file and this thing, right? Like if you just have everything in the system, they know, right? They can just see it and they're used to it. So I love that so much because I could see, yeah, somebody going on maternity leave, someone needed to, want to take a holiday, whatever it is. And then there would have to be a whole like onboarding to client, transition, right? Back and forth, but that eliminates that. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's cool. I love that. I love it so much. So yeah, so how many of you guys, are you guys all, because you also have an ability to have external users in your account, right? So nonprofits can also see what's going on, like your clients. So not just the consultants that may, subcontract underneath you that are helping you write the grants, but nonprofits can also go into this space. Do you guys all have external users that come? Who has that? Jan's nodding. Jackie, do you? No. Yvonne?
No, I don't have it yet. That's
Okay,
something I'm
let's
looking
hear from
forward to.
Jan. Let's hear how she's doing that. And then you guys might want to think, maybe that's something we can
I do. I have 6 of my clients with external use privileges, and they're great. They go in there and they can take a look and see where we are. If they want to check on the process or the progress of a particular grant, they can go back and look at that. If they want to, they got a grant, and that's one of the areas where it's always like, can you tell us when you got the award? And they'll go in there now and they'll go fix it. They don't need to tell me, but they'll go in, they'll say, we got the award, and so they can update it themselves.
Nice.
I had one of my clients said and sent an email today saying, can you update this idea into GEMS? And we said, yes, here's the login. And here's how you find your account again. And let me know. I just want to make sure it works. So can you go do that and let us know? So now we've got them trained to go put their information in for us.
That's amazing because that saves you time, but it also gives transparency and it gives the ability for them to really, find things that they need to. Because I can't tell you, and I'm sure you guys have all experienced this, how many times I've had nonprofits come back to me a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, and be like, "Holly, do you still have that grant? I know you sent it to me, but we can't find the email or it was deleted, whatever." Like they lose stuff all the time, or they have turnover, right? And there's a real problem with losing intellectual property in grants that have been submitted. And when did we submit that? How much did we get again? Like, I know all you nonprofits out there, I'm so excited about this grant. I would never forget how much it was for. Yes, you will. You will. You're going to forget how much it was for, what year it was awarded, all of that. No matter how much work you're putting in it right now, you're going to forget. So this gives the ability to go in and get that institutional data, which is so valuable, right? So have you found that too, Jan, with that external kind of user experience?
Oh, absolutely. Because then they can create their own library. They can create their own system of going in there, who's going in there. If they want 1 or 2 people to share the account, they can do that. And so it's really become very easy for them to just check in.
Yeah.
We know you're working on a deadline, Jan. We don't want you to bother you with this question. We went into GEMS. Hope that's okay. I'm like, absolutely, go in as many times as you want. One of the other benefits is that since we give them access, they don't have to purchase the software. It's still under my umbrella. But the beauty of it is, and they have asked, what happens if you decide to leave us? And I said, well, you can it's easily transferable, and you can then manage your own account. You can manage your own account, and you'll get all your intellectual properties and you'll get all your data.
So you could transfer that and then they could just pay for it directly, but they would keep all of the data and all of the information. That's awesome. Yeah, because that's such a huge, and then they also see the value of it. Like it is an additional cost that you are spending in your business to make it more efficient, to make, it's like keeping institutional knowledge. Like just that part alone to me is like worth so much money. Just that one thing. Yeah.
It's a standalone service.
Yeah, and I love that then they have the access to it and they can come in and see, because you might say, well, can't you just put it in a Google Drive? Absolutely, you could put it in a Google Drive, but it's not as intuitive. Like, I love how GEMS, you can go in and see, like, when did you talk to that funding source? What is their contact information? What were the notes you took on that call, right? And what were the different parts that you submitted? When were, is that the award letter? It's all in one place, and it's very easy to see everything with these clicks of a button for all of that. And that's hard to organize. That takes a lot of like legwork. If you even wanted to try to do anything like that in Google Drive, it would take a lot to just build something that would even look somewhat like that, but it's not going to be as intuitive. So I just kind of want to say that on the side as a plug, because I'm really passionate about that. in GEMS. I think that's awesome. Yeah. Rachel, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and if you work in Google Drive, you can put your Google Drive link in your GEMS task. I know that this might be getting a little specific, but I'm a Google Driver myself, but you don't have to create the whole structure in Google Drive. You just put the link to whatever your document or folder is right in your GEMS task. So if you're working in a live document, you've got 3 or 4 people working in the document. You can just put the link right there in your notes and go right on, and then it's still right there. When you're done with the documents, you can upload them all into GEMS and archive them, and away you go.
Yeah.
And you can keep the glugging, like your Google Drive doesn't get all glugged up with like hundreds and hundreds of old files that you then end up having to pay to store because you don't have time to go through.
Right.
So it can all that for you too. If not that I would ever do that, of course, but
I love that, Rachel. I love that side. Yeah. So now I want to kind of ask a little bit more, like, what was the real issue that you're looking? You told me about how the system has really transformed your company, but what was the problem? Like, why were you like, this is gonna, when you saw GEMS, this is gonna solve that problem? Can we just like do a round robin real quick? Like, Jackie, what was the #1 problem that you kind of were like, I want this solved, and that's why I'm getting this software?
The real-time updates is what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's one thing to have an Excel spreadsheet that you update yourself, but who's gonna, where's it stored? Who's gonna figure it out? It's all in one place. It's the real time. Yes, that was submitted at 2:05, or that was changed right then and there. So it's good to go.
I love that. Yeah. So real time, you needed like not to remind someone to update the Excel sheet, right? You need to know, is it done? And like you said, because that's taking your meeting time away, that's taking away that management time with your consultant. Love it. All right, Yvonne, what about you? What was the figure of GEMS, and what was the problem you wanted to solve?
So I fell in love with GEMS because there was a place to actually put passwords. That's right in the product itself, which freed me from always having to find my reference list that I don't keep on my computer because I, don't want that to be available. So when I saw that there was actually a little spot for that and the DUNS and the UEI, I started doing a happy dance. So that's what. But my day really starts out when I open up the laptop in the morning. I have one timing system that I use to kind of keep track of how much I've done for the entire day. But work doesn't really start until I turn on and open up GEMS, and then I'm able to actually go in, use the timer, so it gives me the specific details on how much time I'm spending on this particular project. So those two things are probably what really were selling features for me, because I didn't see it in the other systems that I had been using.
I love that. And those were like real issues, right? Like you said, that takes time for the passwords to figure out where they are. And then, yeah, tracking time. I love that's actually a new feature. And I love that you guys, Rachel, because that was glorious, because I'm big on that. And Yvonne, this in the mentorship, I'm always saying, because you never really know it until you track it. And then even there, you can track billable and unbillable hours. So then you can run reports to clients as well, all in one place, and they can see what you're working on through that time and everything. So fantastic. Yeah.
And Yvonne, I have password anxiety too, so that's why that's there.
She's like, from my experience, remember, this is developed by Rachel, who owns a grant writing agency. She understands your problems. I love it.
Portal. I love the portal link because it's all like it's all together. The login, password, portal, trauma. Yeah.
It's real. For which client, for their SAM, oh my gosh, it's all over. And those have to be updated every year. Yeah, I get you. All right, Jan, what about you?
Mine is all about calculation. So where are we with goals?
Mhm.
Where are we with awards? What's in process? And it's always the numbers. It's always the numbers for the reporting. And if we've got 4 programs that we're working with one organization, and let's say they're all sort of equal in terms of us going after money, and then we find out that the education bucket is like overfilled, but this other bucket is underfilled. So the calculations are super helpful all the time and always in those reports.
I love that. I'm a data queen as well. And yeah, that like makes me, I'm like, that is a value, data. So I love data because and I love that you can go in there and you can see like, well, and even though we can talk about success rates, how we look at them, but you can really see like, according to how many proposals I'm writing, just at a very generic level too, like how many am I getting awarded, right? And for which client, and where kind of are we seeing more awards coming in, right? And where areas that we can grow at a click of a button. That can take a lot of time to figure out if you don't have that at all. Like if you're trying to do that on your own without some kind of calculation, it can take a while to dig through things, find what was awarded, what was not, how much was that for again, and then to do that on your own to try to figure that out. You don't have to do that. It's already in GEMS, so you can just click a button and run a report to mine data, right? And does that help as well, Jen, when you're communicating with potential clients, coming to that data for?
Yeah, because they need it for board meetings, right? And
Yep.
so I can remember like the one client I had, and it would literally be a day. Like, I'm going to plot this day to figure out all your numbers because they didn't have GEMS. They had 11 programs. I'm like, I need a day to give you your report. Now it's just, oh my gosh, talk about sleeping easy at night.
Yes, I love that. You're like one day, 8 hours, 10 hours maybe, and all of the, I got to do that day, and the work that you can't get done, right? It's not just the time doing it. It's a lot of other factors. Click of a button now. Like, I love it. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, ladies. So we're almost out of here today, but I wanted to do one quick round robin, and then let Rachel close it out as well. It's just your favorite feature in GEMS. And I believe, Jan, you already said this, but if you could just repeat it real quick, we'll go backwards this time. So Jan, what's your favorite feature?
Well, I'm going to say the reliability of it.
Okay.
I can count on the information in there is accurate.
Nice. Reliability. Yvonne.
The Kanban board that you can move the progress of what you're doing across. That's good. And the passwords.
Okay. There we go. I'm gonna throw that back in there. Okay, so yeah, the ability to move things around, to really look at what's going on, and the passwords. Love it. Jackie?
So is the tasks coordinated by the category in which their status, their stage they're in? I don't know how to explain it quite correctly. So all the identified are in one category, all together, no matter what client I'm working on, they're all there so that I know what's my to-dos today, kind of in a color coded.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you're like ability to be organized, everything's organized, boom, because they have the task, what I need to do today. So that'll help you stay, so you can actually you can submit before the deadline, right? Oh my gosh.
Oh, the day before even.
Yeah. Yes.
You can
exactly, Rob. That's huge. I've been on things where it's like, we got 3 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been.
For sure.
Yeah. But you can take vacation now without your computer. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that. I was always like dealing with grant emergencies. My family used to say, "Oh, another grant emergency," because it'd be like, But I mean, I've taken a vacation without my computer for like 2 years now, and it's all because of GEMS, because it's not in here.
Yeah.
It's in computer, and my whole team can survive without me. I'm just not as important as I used to think I was, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I love that. I'm all for systems. I'm all for teams. And I love that you've built that community. Software is just developed where you just go in and use it. But you've really built a community around this, Rachel. So I just want to applaud that. And I love the system. And I just want to say, any final words from any of you? Any final words on the system, or just any shout outs that you want to give before we close out today, Jackie?
So actually, it was just a month ago that I completely forgot about a deadline, and for some reason it got off my radar. And because of looking at my gems, it saved my butt, and it was a big one. And so I kudos to Rachel, because honestly, it would have been, oh my goodness, our client would have been too happy, but it saved me missing that deadline for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. And you guys you can find Jackie again at Resolute Consulting. I'll be dropping all of the links for all these wonderful ladies in the show notes today. Yvonne, what about you? Any final words before we close out today?
Well, again, kudos to Rachel and the wonderful community that is built. I think that GEMS is my zen. It takes a lot of stress out of the process. So can't say more.
Love it. Love it. And once again, Yvonne is with Grant Stream Consulting LLC. So I will be dropping her link in there too. You can check out all the work she's doing. And Jan.
So I love promoting GEMS as much as I possibly can. And I know, Rachel, that you are always thinking about the next innovation. So I'm just super excited to be along for the ride.
Love it. Love it. And once again, Jan is also, she's with Vendor Grants Consulting, so you'll definitely have to check her out. So, Rachel, any closing words for those users out there who are like, I am just bogged down in grants. I don't know what to do. I've heard some of this today. Like, anything else that you want to tell them about this product that you've developed as a grant writing agency from that perspective?
I want to tell them that nothing's going to change unless they change something about it.
Yeah.
You know, 6 months from now, a year from now, you're just going to find yourself under deadlines. That's just sort of the way it is. So you've gotta find a way to work more efficiently, reduce the unnecessary uses of your time and things like that. And so I just truly believe that means you need a system, and you need to, the other thing that I learned that GEMS gave me was it allowed me to have a team, right? Because for many, many, many years, it took me longer to explain to someone how to help me than it did for me to just do it myself. And I'd be like, forget it, I'll just do it myself. But then the list just keeps piling up, right? And so you really do need to find a way where it's not all about you, and that you can rely on a system so that you can grow and you can de-stress. And I hope that GEMS can help people get a better night's sleep, can bring some of that sparkle into the grant writing and grant management process. And yeah, this is a team sport. We're all in it together. We are here to learn from you, and we're open to feedback. And if any of this resonates with you, sign up for a free trial. Sign up for a demo, though, because it's a data system. And when you get a free trial, there's no data in it and you can't tell what it does. So please, please, please get a demo. We are here to help. We're here to take the time with you. We want to help. We know that once you get in the system and you find the system that you love, your life will be better and you'll be able to do more for all the people that you serve.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yes. Yeah. And, and I just want to say, thank you for GEMS for sponsoring the podcast today. And we totally support you. We are a partner with you because we believe in this product. And we also have 10% off. So thank you, GEMS, for giving all of the grant writing and funding lists 10% off. And when you get that, we've also developed a new grant writing management course. You get that as a bonus, which is amazing. So when you sign up, you're definitely going to be able to get that. Go to grantwritingandfunding.com/GEMS. That's GEMS. So you can grab your 10%. You can grab a free demo as well. So you don't even buy it right away. Get that demo so you know how it really works, and so you can see it for yourself as well. And then you can definitely apply that 10%. So thank you for offering that, Rachel. And thank you for all you lovely ladies for the podcast today and talking about your companies and talking about the work that you do to serve the nonprofits around the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
Thank you.